She was born in captivity, raised in a zoo, and moved in with Sally at the age of 4.
Dominant chimpanzee.
We have devised a series of experiments to explore Sheba's intelligence.
I know, she's so...
The first, does she have self-awareness? Does she have a sense of I, Sheba, a living, thinking animal? I'm longing to see how she reacts to a series of experiments with a mirror.
You want to do some work? You want to do some work? Okay.
Most animals, when they look in a mirror, behave as though there were just a second creature behind the glass.
Well, she looks to me like someone who knows that's herself, and she's looking up her nose. Oh.
What's in your nose?
You're saying if your nose is clean, Sheba. Look, she's picking at her. It's obvious. She knows that's herself in there. She's not behaving towards that as though it's another chimp.
What? Let's see. Well, come here. We're going to sit here and do something, okay?
There's this classic test that's been done with many animals where you put a little spot on them and see whether they try to get it off in the mirror.
So there's a spot on her head.
The idea is, imagine that I put a spot on your forehead when you weren't paying, you know, like when you were asleep, and you woke up in the morning and you looked in the mirror and you'd go, what's that, wouldn't you? Because you know it's you and you know the spot's there. If you thought it was some other person in the mirror, they got a spot on. So the question is, here we go, she's putting a spot on. Brilliant, she was playing with her all the time, so Sheba wouldn't have felt her put the spot on at all. Now, what will she do? When she looks in the mirror, will she see that spot and know it's her?
Okay, there you go. Who is that?
Straight to it.
There was a spot. There's just Sheba. Where did that come from?
She knows that's herself in the mirror.
Where did that come from?
Fantastic.
Sheba successfully demonstrates a skill that human children only acquire at about the age of 18 months. By the time we're adults, we see more than just a reflection in a mirror. We care how we look to others.
Want to try it?
Does Sheba care?
Okay, look at yourself.
Can she imagine
Stay
how
here,
other
Sheba.
people will see her? Does she
put
have
some
what
lipstick on?
scientists
Don't
call
eat it.
a theory of mind?
Here.
A bit of fun with some
You can
lipstick
put some
may
lipstick
give
on
us a
you.
clue.
Look at yourself in the mirror. Sheba, don't bite it. Oh, icky.
She's eating it.
Okay, put some lipstick on. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
It's quite difficult to see what she's doing. If she is putting it on, is she looking in the mirror to see herself put it? Yes. Yes, you clever girl. Is that pretty?
Let's see.
She's putting it on now. She's putting it on her lips and making them all red. I wonder what she's thinking. Now, what do you think she's thinking? Do you think she thinks it's pretty? Oh, Sheba, that's lovely.
Turn this way so we can see you. Turn this way, like that, yeah, so they can see your pretty face. Look, I have another kind, too. This is even redder.
Sheba takes a break. She has demonstrated some sense of self, but I need to take care. Because chimps look so much like us, it's all too easy to imagine that they must think and feel like us.
Wait for me.
She's enthusiastic going into her room there. Look at that.
All right.
You do enjoy it, Sheba, don't you?
Next up, a test of Sheba's
Positively
understanding of
enthusiastic about doing
space.
this test.
We
I'm gonna
humans
try to
use
use this
plans
model
and
today.
maps to find
All right,
our
my
way
dear?
around.
I'm really quite
You know what,
excited to
I'm
see what
Tiny
she'll do.
map
behind
can
you
represent
like
a whole
this.
city.
Okay.
Can Sheba understand a
We'll have
similar
to wait for
relationship?
that. Yeah, look at this. And here's a little tire. See the little tire here? And here's the climbing
I
structure.
suppose she's showing her the different objects and talking about them.
You see this little tiny thing? Little tiny thing.
Sally places
Look
a
where I'm gonna put
tiny
it.
object in a
Underneath
scaled-down model of the
this
room.
red.
Can Sheba
Can
find
you
the
go find
real
it?
object
Go find
in
it.
the real room?
Go find it. Where is it, Chief?
Quick as a flash.
Oh, there it is.
Look,
yes.
she has no trouble
Good
with that.
job.
That's brilliant.
Good job. Would you get a treat? A treat.
She must be doing that just like I
Yummy.
would. You know, she sees it and it's obvious to her. She just goes and does it. Yay.
Excellent
Fantastic.
job. Yeah, that was good. Good job.
Well done, Sheba.
Very nice work.
Are you showing off to us,
Now
Sheba?
we need a couple of minutes while she eats her treat.
It looks to me as though it's obvious to her that that little model there is the same thing as the big room there. So she can just do it. That shows that she has in her head a three-dimensional picture that she can use to find things. scale up, change in size, change in orientation, all that changing is going on in her head.
Can you sit back a little bit? Sit back a little bit. Sit right here.
You'd expect an animal that lives in the forest and zooms up trees all the time to have a very good grasp of three-dimensional relationships. But to be able to relate that to a tiny model, that's clever, that's additional, and I didn't expect to see her being able to do that so easily. And she just did it.
It's in this thing. No, this thing. Yeah, see? Watch. Bye-bye.
Humans can't
Down
do
in there.
this
Now
until
go
the
try.
age of 3.
Try again.
I wonder, can Sheba do this a second time?
Go on, Sheba, look in the climbing frame.
Is she looking?
Yes, she's going into the climbing frame. Yeah, she's looking through the window.
Oh, there it
She's got it.
is.
She
Come
can
on
do
over,
that
that was
task.
pretty
That's
good.
not difficult for her.
Let's go!
Yeah, we think we're the clever. We're the clever. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I
definitely wasn't
don't know
like
what
that.
was that
But
reaction.
here we see them do all sorts of intelligent things.
Oh, I'm happy though. I'm happy.
How do you feel about that relationship between our kind of clever and their kind